Possessed Love has got to be the creepiest and most captivating dating show I've ever watched. From the very beginning of episode 1, it grabs you and doesn't let go till the end. Just imagine the combination of shamans, tarot readers, and even an exorcist in a dating show. The concept is very unique and it's all about spiritual energy and deities. Incredible, right? Spiritual folks need love too, you know. I once saw a shaman on one of the seasons of I Am Solo. The lady found love on the show, but the relationship did not last. From what I gathered in the aftermath, she communicated with spiritual beings even in her sleep, which understandably freaked the guy out. They broke up, which is why it makes perfect sense to put these mystical individuals together in search of love, since it's definitely more challenging for them to find love outside their circle. At least they will understand each other better. Hi guys, and welcome to my first review of Possessed Love Episode 1. I'll recap and share my opinions and interpretations in this video. Please keep in mind that my views and opinions might change or evolve as the show continues. Now let's delve into Episode 1. When the participants first entered the possessed site to make their preliminary choices, they had to go into a cave and pick the tags of people they felt a spiritual connection with. Lee Hongjo said he felt the vibe immediately. He said once he sees people's date of birth, the deities come to him and he becomes a whole new person. He was spiritually called to be a shaman 6 months prior to the shooting of the show. He's from a family of shamans and the spirits he works with are mostly generals. And sometimes, these spirits possess him even before his calling. He once performed a sword dance despite never learning how, thanks to a spirit that knew the moves. Fascinating, right? This show is no child's play, guys. I'm beginning to believe what they are saying. He knew the person he was supposed to choose immediately but still consulted the deities before making his choice. He chose Black Ox, born March 23, 1995. I've never seen anything like this. I am not too familiar with this type of psychic, psychological, or spiritual activities, so this journey with Possessed Love is going to be a real eye-opener for me. The panelists seemed bewildered with this as well, because they were all shocked at the first scene. Actually, they said they were scared because this was quite different from what they see on regular dating shows. All of them except this one man were freaking out. He is just there, always calm with a smile on his face like he's saying you ain't seen nothing yet. I suspect he's also a shaman because he seems to know a lot about what's going on. The most shocking thing is how accurate most of the participants' predictions are, because as soon as the second guy entered the cave, he performed his own magical ritual and chose a name tag. He said he felt it immediately that he'll connect with the person he chose. He even foresaw fierce competition for her affection. He said he'd be conflicted because many others would want her too. And guess what? He was right. The girl he liked was indeed the most sought after for first impressions. His name is Geo Gubong, a Saju reader, and he chose the Red Rooster. So, I did some research on Saju. Turns out, Saju readers are fortune tellers who use a person's birth details to analyze their fate and destiny. The Saju chart consists of 4 pillars, each representing a pair of heavenly stems and earthly branches. The interpretation of these pillars reveals insights into a person's character, life path, potential challenges, and opportunities. It also uses some yin and yang elements. If you have further details on how the Saju works, please share in the comments. Gubong has been reading fortunes for 13 years. Like this guy started learning Saju from elementary school. He started learning about spirits at a very young age because his father was a monk. I'm quite surprised monks can have kids. I could have sworn it wasn't something they usually did, but I could be wrong. Still, I can't get over the fact that he started Saju at such a young age. I'm just imagining him sitting in front of his friends or teachers and seeing their entire future in the blink of an eye. Sometimes, we underestimate what we don't understand, but because we don't understand them doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I'm keeping my eyes and ears open as I watch this show, learning things that are totally new to me. Although I've seen shaman in Korean movies and some shows, I just never took it seriously until now. How about you? Are you familiar with these practices, and will you be watching the show? The third guy, Lee Jae-won, is also a Saju reader. He's been studying Saju and divination for 6 years. And let me tell you, he's handsome, like, seriously good-looking. He studied math at Yonsei University, one of South Korea's top universities. He said he was immediately attracted to the black rat named Tag when he entered the cave. He believed they will get along really well because, according to him, he lacks water but she has a lot of water. So he chose the black rat. Meanwhile, the fourth guy had a unique approach. He uses a fan to communicate with deities. The more I watched, the more awestruck I became. His name is Park Eul, and he's a shaman who's been practicing for 4 years. He performs exorcisms and casts out evil spirits. Recently, he started reading fortunes and giving dating advice. He also chose the red rooster. The first female shown at the possessed site was tarot master Johanna. She did her thing, spread her cards and eventually chose the blue ox. She was convinced he was the one for her. Next up was Choi Hannah, so yep, there are 2 Hannahs. She drew some seriously strong love cards on the white sheep named Tag. She discovered she'll find love on the show and chose the white sheep. She's been a tarot consultant for just a year but seems to have a knack for it. The third lady, Jo Yuna, surprised me by using an iPad for her Saju reading. I was like, wow, they even use iPads for this. Yuna has been into Saju reading for 4 years. She does her readings through paintings and she made her tag choice based on the shapes and drawings she looked through on her tablet. She chose the blue dog tag and she felt confident she'd form a couple on the show. But the final lady, oh boy. She's stunning. I've never seen a shaman so beautiful. Not like I've seen many of them, but dang, she's gorgeous. Her name is Ham Shuhan, and her parents were both shamans. She's a 3rd-generation shaman, with her paternal grandma also being a shaman. Shuhan made a request to the deities for a seriously handsome guy, lol. She's been a shaman for a year. When making her choice, she was torn between 2 guys, the gold horse, born March 28, 1995, and the blue dog, born October 31, 1991. Shuhan hasn't dated in 3 years because of her job. Her days are filled with sleep, attending to clients, and praying. She brought out her bell, rang it and said some prayers. And despite her confusion, she decided to follow the deity's guidance, and just follow whomever they choose for her. As she kept praying, she said her deities must have blessed her with the person she chose because he will be good for her. Eventually, she chose the blue dog. So this was how they ended their preliminary choices. For the ladies, both Yuna and Shuhan chose blue dog. While for the men, Gubong and Eul both chose the red rooster. When they moved into the house, they had a set of rules, and guess what the first rule was? I have never seen this rule before on any show from what I can remember, and I think all shows should adopt this rule. The rule was that during the move-in period, they must express their feelings truthfully and find their destined partner. Second rule was that they cannot share their Saju, meaning information on fortune such as date of birth must be kept confidential. Third rule was that they must not reveal their jobs on the first day. Then the fourth rule is that their personal social media accounts or contact information should not be shared. The final rule is that on the last day they will make their final choices. There were so many spine-chilling moments when they all first met. The second Gubong entered the house, Shuhan said she felt a strong energy from him, and that it seemed like she had seen him before. I was so creeped out. I felt like it must have been his face the deities showed to her when she was praying for her choice in the cave. Considering these folks didn't know each other in real life, it was uncanny. Then she instantly guessed the details of his MBTI. Gubong is cute, but Jaewon is even more handsome. At first, it seemed to me that Shuhan will have a challenge as time goes on whom to choose between the two guys, but I noticed that when Jo Hannah entered, and she and the second Hannah were connecting because they said their names were from the Bible, Shuhan immediately told them to change seats. She specifically said Gubong should move closer to her. She also fed him later when she was making dinner. This was the point when I realized her attraction to him wasn't ordinary but extraordinary. By the way, Jo Hannah also felt Gubong's strong aura as soon as she entered the house. Another eerie moment was when Jaewon asked Choi Hannah if she saw herself crying on the show. She was shocked and even asked him if it was possible for anyone to know stuff like that, asking if he sensed some type of energy from her. The two Hannahs then revealed they had a premonition something major would happen on the show. Jo Hannah didn't want to speak it into existence but eventually said it anyway during a chat between them with Yuna in the closet. Jo Hannah predicted there might be some sort of fight, and then production showed us a clip of Choi Hannah crying really hard the next day. That gave me goosebumps lol. And finally, that moment when Hongjo took everyone's pictures and set them up in his room. Like bro, is he going to cast a spell and change the love lines in the house? Is that even possible? Plus the eerie background music and the way he stared at those photos were quite creepy lol. I was intrigued by how hard production was trying to turn this into a horror show hahaha. For their first impressions, when they all first met, Hongjo was the last participant to walk in and Shuhan immediately sensed that he would be hard to deal with. Meanwhile, Choi Hannah was instantly attracted to him. When she asked him what the Chinese characters in his name meant, he said it meant abundance of something or flood. He said he was given the name, possibly because he lacked water in his soju. She mentioned in her interview that she had 90% water in her soju, so she believed that was a sign that he was the one for her, thinking they would complement each other perfectly. Next, they were asked to vote for their first impressions right there in front of each other and all the men chose Shu Hyun. It's understandable because she is super stunning. Jo Hannah and Yuna chose Jaewon. Shuhan chose Gubong while Choi Hannah chose Hongjo. Hongjo said he chose Shu Hyun because he hadn't spoken to her yet. I genuinely do not believe that. I feel like he just said that to cover up his feelings. I think he is very quite interested in her. The way he looked at her in the kitchen while she cooked and how the pictures he took of the members were mostly of her, shows he was very much interested and curious about Shuhan. Then Jaewon, for whatever reason, asked Gubong how he felt about being chosen by the most popular girl in the house. Gubong gave an unusual answer, saying he expected things to happen the way they did, although he didn't think it would actually happen, but things turned out as he expected. He also told Yuna and Jo Hannah, now known as Big Hannah, that he was interested in one person, hinting that it was Shu Hyun. As soon as he mentioned Shuhan, the ladies left his room immediately, saying they needed to get a cup of water lol. He even tried to stop them from leaving but they didn't budge, since they realized they had no chances with him. It seemed his mind was almost made up. At this point, I'm beginning to think that Shu Hyun and Gubong chose each other even before they met. If they did, they just might be fated to be together. But if they end up not matching in the end, that will be sad because he literally blocked the other ladies from showing or developing any feelings for him by hinting to them that he liked Shuhan. Later at night, when it was time to choose their fated partners, they headed to the possessed site with the name tags they received and voted for the person they liked. Big Hannah chose Jaewon again because she was romantically interested in him. Yuna also chose Jaewon again because she felt comfortable around him. Their first impressions didn't waver. Jaewon, the lucky guy chosen by two ladies, had eyes for only one and that was Shu Hyun. So he chose her the first night, because he was captivated and wanted to know more about her. Gubong chose Shu Hyun without hesitation. He found her honesty and consideration for others very attractive. And I personally want to add that she's good at cooking. She made dinner for everyone. She got so good at it because she often makes ritual foods. Shu Hyun had a difficult time choosing between Gubong and Jaewon. According to her, Gubong will make her laugh, but she thinks the blue dog who is her fated partner is Jaewon. So, does this mean I got it all wrong? She feels the deities chose Jaewon for her, but she's more attracted to Gubong. I sort of feel she is getting it wrong. I just have a strange feeling that the deity's choice for her was Gubong, and I have a feeling he is the blue dog. In the end, she chose Gubong again. It's obvious she really likes him. Then came the messages revealing who chose whom. Eol, Yuna, and Big Hannah received messages that no one chose them. But when Jong Ho got his message, it revealed that the Black Ox chose him, the same Black Ox he chose in his preliminary fate tag pick. He was so excited. When asked who he thought Black Ox was, he guessed Small Hannah, aka Choi Hannah, and he was right. Small Hannah received a message that White Sheep chose her. Coincidentally, she chose White Sheep for her preliminary fate tag too. The big question now is, who is White Sheep? I think it's Hongjo because of their connection. Although it could also be Eol, but he hasn't shown much interest in her based on the edits. He's been fixated on Shu Hyun and chose Red Rooster for his fate tag. So, I'd be surprised if White Sheep was him. But if White Sheep is Hongjo, I swear, I'll start believing these guys really have some divine powers. It's wild how things are lining up so perfectly. I don't think the producers are manipulating things, right? I doubt it. Anyways, this show is beginning to open my eyes to a world I never took seriously before. Because of how they are portrayed in many of the K-dramas I've watched, I genuinely do not take them seriously, but these guys are making me rethink everything. I don't believe in fortune tellers either, but these guys are showing me a different side. Anyways, I look forward to episode 2 because the first episode was very intriguing. What do you think about possessed love? Will you be watching this show as well? Do you believe in fate or destiny? I believe in fate, but I also believe you can create your own fate. Also, I believe in destiny, but I also believe you can alter your destiny with prayers. What do you think, guys? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. Bye.